Hello, everyone. We have great news today. Harry accuses palace officials of ruining his relationship with his father. Prince Harry's secret move during a visit to Britain reveals his intentions. Prince Harry makes a harsh statement after meeting with King Charles. Reality TV star spoke out against Meghan Markle in an angry tirade. Meghan Markle changed her mind about the royal titles of children after an important conversation. The most interesting, what lies ahead? And now I suggest we start by saying that Harry blames the palace officials.
Harry attacks palace officials over damaged relations with father. Prince Harry and King Charles experienced a major falling out after the Duke left his royal duties and revealed family details in his book Spare. Now Harry has criticized palace officials, calling them men in gray suits who destroyed his relationship with his father. The Duke was reportedly angry about what he saw as a deliberate campaign by unnamed palace staff to sabotage his reconciliation efforts with the king. He was especially upset by their hostile briefings to newspapers. This ongoing conflict between Harry and palace officials came as talks were happening that could have brought the king and his son together publicly. A source close to Prince Harry told the Mail on Sunday, "The relationship between the Duke and His Majesty is a matter for the two of them only. The men in gray suits should stay out of it."
While Harry is accusing the palace officials, I remind you that the next big news awaits you.
One comment seemed to suggest Harry had overestimated a meeting with Charles. Officials claimed the Duke had mistaken a brief tea and cake for the Treaty of Versailles. The Sun reported Harry's meeting with the king was distinctly formal and that Harry later called it very official, like an official visit. The outlet said there were no further plans for public appearances together. When asked to retract their statement, the Duke's spokesperson responded, "Recent reporting of the Duke's view is completely false. The quotes are pure invention, presumably fed by sources trying to sabotage reconciliation between father and son." The spokesperson also denied reports that Harry gave his father a framed photograph of himself, Meghan, and their children Archie and Lilibet. They clarified a framed photograph was given, however the image did not contain the Duke and Duchess. The family conflict began when Harry left his royal duties and shared private family details in his memoir Spare.
Prince Harry's secret move during UK visit shows his royal family intentions. During Prince Harry's brief trip to the UK, he secretly met with another royal family member. Royal expert Jenny Bond believes this move shows Harry wants to remain part of the royal family. Prince Harry's private visit to see the Duke of Kent during his UK trip was an important gesture for the royals, according to an expert. During his 4-day return to Britain, the Duke of Sussex met with his father, King Charles, for a 55-minute private tea at Clarence House. This marked their first meeting since February 2024. Away from public attention, Harry also met with another royal family member. His spokesperson confirmed he met Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, at Kensington Palace. The prince paid his respects following the death of the Duke's wife, Catherine, the Duchess of Kent, who passed away on September 4th at age 92. Harry left the UK before the Duchess's funeral at Westminster Cathedral, instead traveling to Ukraine for a pre-arranged meeting with injured soldiers in the war zone. Former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond believes Harry is trying to repair relationships within the royal family by taking time to meet with the Duke of Kent. She told the Mirror, "I think it's a sign that Harry very much wants to remain part of the royal family, but that doesn't mean he wants to be part of the institution. Family ties seem to mean a lot to him these days, despite the damage he has done and hurt he has caused." Bond recalled the relationship between the Kents and Harry, explaining how the prince would have felt compelled to share his condolences in person. She said, "The Duke and Duchess of Kent were part of his life for many years, and they both attended Harry and Meghan's wedding. It was a rare public appearance by the Duchess, and I'm sure Harry was touched by her presence. I think he felt it important to see the Duke and express his condolences personally. We know he is seeking reconciliation, and this was another small step to show he still cares about his relatives, even though his life is now elsewhere. While Prince Harry didn't attend the Duchess's funeral on September 16th, Jenny Bond believes this was Harry's decision to not steal attention at such a solemn event and to fulfill his Ukraine commitment. No one has confirmed whether he was invited to the funeral, but he would have known the headlines would be all about him, and this was a day for the Duchess, so I think it was wise to stay away. He had a long-arranged meeting in Ukraine which involved complex preparations, so it would have been difficult to reschedule. In the end, he took the wisest route. He saw the elderly Duke privately, then left the family to mourn in public.
Prince Harry has made a powerful statement after meeting with King Charles. Prince Harry has made a powerful statement about his recent London trip after reports surfaced of an unfriendly visit with his father. The two royals were apparently trying to reconcile earlier this month when the 41-year-old claimed that King Charles no longer speaks to him. This happened after Harry lost a court of appeal battle over security arrangements. Prince Harry has been separated from the royal family since 2020, when he and his wife, Meghan Markle, stepped down from their senior royal duties. After moving to Canada and then the United States with Meghan, the prince lost all the security he was previously entitled to as a working royal. He said this put his family at risk. Following a shocking BBC interview earlier this year, it seemed there was no real way back for Harry. But he traveled to Clarence House in Westminster on September 10th for a meeting with the king. The Sun reported this meeting as distinctly formal, with Harry allegedly feeling like an official visitor rather than a family member. However, a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex has now responded with a strong statement regarding these claims. They suggest the reports were invented to try to sabotage any reconciliation between Harry and his father. Harry's spokesperson told People, recent reporting of the Duke's view of the meeting tone is completely false. The quotes attributed to him are pure invention, fed by sources intent on sabotaging any reconciliation between father and son. Presumably, those same sources have also chosen to disclose that gifts were exchanged. While we would have preferred such details to remain private, for clarity, we can confirm that a framed photograph was handed over. However, the image did not contain the Duke and Duchess. The king was presented with a framed photograph that included a picture of his grandchildren, Prince Archie, 6, and Princess Lilibet, 4. He has not seen them in over 3 years. The meeting was also the first time Harry and Charles had met publicly since February 2024. This perhaps marks an important step in what many hope will be a full resolution to their recent problems. Following criticism of their reports, The Sun said, in his statement, Prince Harry confirms the exchange of gifts, including a family photograph. The office of the Duke of Sussex was given full right of reply yesterday before publication, but chose not to respond to The Sun's carefully sourced account of the meeting. We have today updated the online article to include his new statement.
Reality TV star turns against Meghan Markle in an angry podcast rant. A reality TV star, Stassi Schroeder, who was once a superfan of Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, has turned against Prince Harry's wife in a bizarre rant on her podcast. When Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, 44, launched her lifestyle brand As Ever, she likely didn't see this one-sided feud coming. Reality TV star Stassi Schroeder, 37, has been a self-confessed superfan of the Duchess of Sussex for a long time. But after she didn't receive a box of free promotional items from As Ever, she's turned into what she calls a toxic hater. In a wild rant on her podcast called Stassi, the former Vanderpump Rules star complained about not receiving any freebies, even though her own PR team had reached out to Meghan's brand. She called it the last straw. "I have literally defended her when no one else did," Schroeder said on her podcast. "I have filmed videos about it. I've commented on all the things. I literally had my PR reach out." The way she moves through social media, I think that she's stuck in 2017 and she just thinks I'm a lowly reality person. That's what I think, and I'm furious, and this is the last straw. I'm not watching her show anymore. Stassi continued, "I'm not going to talk about her anymore. I'm going to unfollow her right now. Done." The reality TV personality also pointed out that Meghan's team had sent PR boxes to some podcasters who had been less than friendly about the Duchess over the years. When you're sending PR boxes to people who talk badly about you, Claudia and Jackie don't talk badly about her, but they've questioned her and they also say, "I wonder what Stassi's thinking about this." "Everyone knows. No longer," Stassi ranted. "My feelings are hurt and I'm a toxic fan. I was a toxic fan that's now a toxic hater." She also accused Meghan of being a control freak about her image and paying too much attention to people who don't like her rather than her committed fans like Stassi. "Meghan is paying attention to her haters," Stassi said. "I think it's her way of trying to control the narrative. I think she's controlling." However, despite Stassi's feelings being hurt by the apparent snub, Cosmopolitan reports that Meghan literally has no idea who the reality TV star is. A source was quoted as saying, "It was Meghan's marketing team handling promotion, not Meghan herself. Does Stassi think every celebrity is at home thinking about her? Delusional."
Meghan Markle changed her mind about children's royal titles after a key conversation. The Sussexes made a major announcement about their 2 children following their daughter Lilibet's christening in California, and it surprised many royal watchers. Ever since they quit royal life, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have continued to speak publicly about their ongoing rift with the Duke's family. So many were surprised when they unexpectedly announced their decision to use their children's royal titles back in 2023. And it all reportedly came down to a key conversation they had with 2 of Harry's relatives. They shared the news following daughter Lilibet's christening in California, expressing their wish that their children adopt their royal titles. This is despite the fact that Meghan and Harry can no longer use HRH titles themselves, and Meghan's declaration to Oprah Winfrey in 2021 that she didn't have any attachment to the grandeur of royal life. A spokesperson for the Sussexes said at the time, "The children's titles have been a birthright since their grandfather became monarch. This matter has been settled for some time in alignment with Buckingham Palace." It has now been claimed that the couple made this decision after speaking to Harry's cousins, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. And according to a royal expert, the Sussexes changed their minds for some very specific reasons. Harry and Meghan are very keen to cling on to those royal titles. After much deliberation, Meghan decided that the titles would be a good thing, not just for her, but for both her children too. Meghan became very friendly with senior members of the monarchy, predominantly Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice. After this, Meghan realized how useful a title can be, particularly when you want to move in the correct circles. That is the reason why they want to clutch hold of titles. Archie and Lilibet could have been styled as a prince and princess from the very start of their grandfather's reign as a result of a royal rule introduced by King George V. The Letters Patent 1917 declared that only the monarch's children, male line grandchildren, and the eldest son of the Prince of Wales could hold a princely title. This means that when Archie and Lilibet were the great-grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II, they were not permitted to hold the titles. But when King Charles came to the throne, they were eligible as they became grandchildren of the sovereign. A 2012 letters patent issued by Queen Elizabeth gave the HRH title to all children of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, so all of Prince William's children were prince and princess upon their birth. Harry and Meghan's children are now known as Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. After a delay, the official British royal family's website updated their names in the line of succession. Previously, they were listed as Master Archie Mountbatten-Windsor and Miss Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor. It wasn't the first time Harry and Meghan had surprised royal watchers when it came to their kids. The couple were said to have made the late queen as angry as I'd seen her over one of their major family decisions, according to a palace staffer. The Sussexes quit royal life in January 2020, less than 2 years after their wedding. The following June, they welcomed their second child, a daughter they chose to name Lilibet Diana. The name certainly raised eyebrows amongst royal fans. Lilibet was the Queen's affectionate nickname, stemming back to when she was a young girl. It's thought it came about because the young Princess Elizabeth was unable to pronounce her own name properly. Lilibet was only used by a handful of people closest to the Queen: her parents, King George VI and the Queen Mother, her late sister, Princess Margaret, her husband, Prince Philip, and a few close friends. As such, there was speculation at the time about whether Harry and Meghan had sought prior permission from Her Majesty. The BBC said it had been told by a source of the palace that the Queen had not been asked, while other publications stated that when she was called by the couple, she did not feel in a position to say no. However, a spokesperson for the Sussexes insisted that the couple would not have used the name had the Queen not been supportive. A statement said, "The Duke spoke with his family in advance of the announcement. In fact, his grandmother was the first family member he called. During that conversation, he shared their hope of naming their daughter Lilibet in her honor. Had she not been supportive, they would not have used the name." But, according to author Robert Hardman and his book Charles III, New King, New Court, The Inside Story, one member of staff privately recalled that Elizabeth II had been as angry as I'd ever seen her in 2021 after the Sussexes announced that she had given them her blessing to call their baby daughter Lilibet. The couple subsequently fired off warnings of legal action against anyone who dared to suggest otherwise, as the BBC had done. However, when the Sussexes tried to get the palace to support their version of events, they were rebuffed. Once again, it was a case of recollections may vary, the late Queen's reaction to the Oprah Winfrey interview. As far as Her Majesty was concerned, those noisy threats of legal action duly evaporated and the libel actions against the BBC never materialized.